In the early 1980s, food banks started to sprout up across this country, a temporary measure to help some of the hardest up among us to weather the recession. Today, more than 700,000 Canadians every month go there to get at least some of their groceries. 37% of those Canadians are children. Thomas Harding is a lawyer in Surrey, British Columbia. Here is his story.
I donate money to the food bank every month. I'd like to tell you why. I've never used a food bank. There were no food banks when my family needed one. There were a lot of us. 6 boys aged 4 to 13, 1 girl aged 3. Dad was a scout leader, a member of the Odd Fellows, one of those guys who can fix anything, works every hour God made, but always has time for his family. It turns out we were poor. We just didn't know it. We never went without, exactly, but purchases were carefully thought about. We all wore hand-me-downs and mended clothes, except Teresa, the baby, the one girl, our little princess. She was a tomboy, how could she help it with 6 older brothers? But unless she was playing, she was dressed like a Dresden doll, all frills and lace. She had 6 brothers wrapped around her finger, our parents too. Monday, October the 5th, 1964, is the day that made all the difference in my life. Dad is at work. My brothers David and Mike are at school. Mum's at home with the rest of us. Pat and Dan are sick. Steve, Teresa, and I are too young for school. After breakfast, Mum goes back to bed. Maybe she's feeling poorly? The kids are playing in the house. About 10 o'clock, Pat sees smoke coming from the basement. He runs to tell Mum. The telephone doesn't work. Have the lines melted? Pat runs to a neighbor's to use their phone. Mum tries to round up the other 4 children. Where's Teresa? Is she outside? Is she in the basement? The basement is full of smoke. No one can get in. The fire department line rings busy. When they finally answer, they only have 1 old truck to send. It's Fire Prevention Week. The nearest station has all its new trucks away at a parade. Eventually, more men and equipment arrive. In total, 13 firemen fight that fire. All they can do is to keep it from spreading to adjacent houses. They search the house 6 times for Teresa. Finally, she is found. She has asphyxiated. They rush her to hospital. They try to revive her, but it's no use. She's gone. Everything is destroyed. Our little princess, our belongings, our lives. Friends and strangers come to help us. The Hudson's Bay Company, the Sally Ann, the Boy Scouts. The newspapers appeal for donations. Cans appear on shop counters. Give to the Harding Fund. The children are fostered out to strangers for months, separated, bewildered, bereft. Mum and Dad spend a year planning and working towards rebuilding our house. Dad works 3 jobs to raise money. Finally, we move into the new house. Everything's going to be okay, right? No. The death of a child is like an earthquake. The initial devastation is just half the damage. It also weakens the fabric of structures, creates hidden cracks that only need a tremble to cause further collapse. First, the blame game. Blame each other. Blame ourselves. Blame God. Blame someone. Next, blame the victim. What were they thinking to have all those children? Why didn't they fix the wiring? I'll bet those kids were playing with matches. Then, the collapse. Our parents separate. Neither can take the recriminations anymore. Now we're poor. And we feel poor. 6 boys with our mother. She prevents him from seeing us. We're told he's started drinking. She has a breakdown. Dad dies alone, having had little contact with us since separation. We boys learn new things. We learn how poverty can also mean despair. We learn to count squares of toilet paper, to shower in cold water once a week, to change for Jim in a corner so other kids can't see the holes in our underwear, To make dinner for 6 with a 14-ounce can of mackerel, a tin of mushroom soup, and rice. That wasting food is a sin, and that you must never, never tell anyone how poor you are, because shame is worse than hunger or cold. Over the years, many people gave us help. Each one made a difference to our lives. The Sisters of St. Anne let 4 of us attend Holy Angels for free. From time to time, milk truck drivers and bread men would drop off just expired food. Santa's Anonymous and the Empty Stocking Fund provided most of our presents for years and years. A naval chaplain taught us that goodness is shown not by what we say, but by what we do and by what we are. Lessons I've learned from my life. No one chooses to be poor. No one goes hungry because they are lazy. No child is unworthy of help and kindness. No one has so little that they cannot give help. No one has so much that they do not need help. Give to the food bank. Do it today. Don't plan to do it sometime, because good intentions will not feed hungry children. For the Sunday edition, I'm Thomas Harding in Surrey, British Columbia.